Hey everyone, welcome to this week's video. In this video, I want to be showing you a really good and easy way to organize your photos. So right now, if you're first getting into photography, you really haven't done very many projects, maybe no projects at all, you're just a hobbyist. This is a really good time for you to know this information. If you're like me, I've been doing photography for several years. Actually, probably a decade now, come to think of it. Anyways, I've been doing photography for a long time and I have a ton of photos over many different hard drives. Now, I haven't done this completely myself, and it's something I have to continue to work at to organize my photos. That being said, this is a really good way for any of you to organize your photos for future reference. For a few years down the road, you want to find a picture from that specific spot that you thought of. This is how you're going to be able to find it pretty quick and easy. So let's get on the computer and get into it. Alright, so at the very beginning of the folders you're making, you're going to want to make one that everything's going into. So I have an example, my pictures sample folder named right here. The next thing you're going to want to do is by year organize all your photos, because that's going to be the easiest way to remember probably where you were or something, just by year. So under the year, you're going to want to separate it into, if you travel to several different countries, separate those countries. So not that I went there this year, but these are countries I've been to, so I just wrote down the samples: United States, Europe, and Africa. So under these folders, let's go to United States. So under United States, I'm going to put it as separately every state that I have photos in. So I live in Florida, that's why I did this one. Go under Florida, then I'm going to separate it by county. Now, if you only visited another state, you might not want to do it as county because you're not as familiar with the area, so it's just easier to remember the city that you were in. And that's completely fine because that works for, vacation photos or anything like that. That's a good way to do it. But for Florida, I know it pretty well, and I know all the counties and the cities and everything that they're in. It's where I have the most photos, so it's better to really organize it that way. So I have the county as Martin County, and then under that I'm going to do Hobe Sound, that's the city I live in. Go through that, and then this last area is where you're going to have all your separate folders that actually have the pictures in them. So as an example, I made this one Hobe Sound Bridge and then put the date as today's date. Now I do still put the date even though it's for 2020. I'm still doing the date because that gives me a detail of all the months and what specific day it was and everything. You don't necessarily have to have that. I just like having that just because it's really interesting to go back sometimes and see what day it was. But that's the way I organize it. And if I wanted to do like another park here, there's a park called Zeus Park here in Hobe Sound, and put those photos in there and it's good to go. So let me give you one more example. Like if I was doing vacation photos, I would go back to states. Like my honeymoon was in Colorado, so I'll make a Colorado folder. For example, we visited Colorado Springs and Fairplay. That's how I would be separating these photos. So I'd put Fairplay, that's where we stayed, and then do another separate one as Colorado Springs. That's the way I'd be organizing for more of the high-end photos that I'd be selling. If you wanted to throw in your vacation photos into here, I'd go into the Colorado photo and put in vacation, the month and that year. Even though it's under 2020, just put it in there just for that detail you can have, and then put all your vacation photos into that folder. So there's basically a lot of ways you can go about organizing all your photos. You can really customize it to how it best suits you and works for you. This just gives you an idea of how to make your stuff really detailed, really organized, so you can find your photos quickly and easily without having to search through all kinds of random folders here and there. And it just makes it easier on you in the long run. So like I said, that's just a real easy way to organize your photos. Just folder after folder of organization, kind of fine-tuning it, filtering it down to that specific location so you can access it really easy and find it in the future real quick. So if you enjoyed the video, if you found it helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up. Also, if you want to keep up with the videos I put out every week, you know where the button is down there for that. And thanks for watching.